It's Joe Mazzulla on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Joe, what happened earlier? We missed you.
I know. That's on me.
No, we good. You call back anytime, man. That's the way we roll, Joe. We got a 4-hour window, and we just get segments in when we need to.
By the way, Joe, we have Michael Hawley with us today. He's on his 10-day contract right now.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, Joe?
So how many is this? How many 10 days you guys are giving out?
Several. Front office is doing its thing right now.
Yeah, Joe, when we get close to the end here, you're going to help pick it one way or the other. You might be the swing vote here.
That'd be a great segment.
All right. We'll do that. More than basketball. Yeah. Hey, Joe, but before we get into, the current status, last Friday night, the end of that game against Denver, I want to go back to that real quick. Would you do anything different at the end of that game? As far as
no, I wouldn't.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I thought we got really good looks. And, you take a look at that game and, late game offense, because of the talent that we have and the options that we have, it's going to look different night in and night out, And so I thought we got really good looks there in the fourth quarter. And, sometimes execution just says that, they focus on the result. But execution is did we get the ball in the right spot versus the right matchup and put our guys in the best position to succeed? And thought we executed well. And then I think in the Houston game, because of the type of defense they were playing, we went to, a different play call frequency. And, we executed, got the ball we needed to get to, and I thought we just made some of those shots in that game. So I think it would just look different night in and night out as far as our quote-unquote late-game execution, and we just got to continue to grow at it.
What happened in the second half with Kristaps Porzingis? He was so productive in the first half of that game, and then he sort of faded in the second half. In your mind, why was that?
In the first half, they kept Jokic on him, and we kind of used Jokic as the offensive trigger to generate 2-on-1s. And they switched the matchup. And then we switched Porzingis' sub-pattern to play versus some of the smaller units. And then they moved Jokic's, matchup around. I think when you're playing against that team, using Jokic as a trigger to create 2-on-1s, we were generating really, really good looks on that, and we kind of just stuck with that.
I mean, it's a game in January, Joe, so you don't want to go too crazy, but as the defending NBA champions, did you get a sense that your guys were a little more locked in for the game, or even the Nuggets taking on the Celtics? You don't see them that much. Did you sense a different energy for that game?
I think there's a few games throughout the season where the energy, quote unquote, or the things are different, and I felt like we've had about 5 or 6 of those. One of the Knicks games, Minnesota, OKC, even the second Minnesota game and the Denver game, and I thought we just continue to grow as a team in those situations as far as both offensive and defensive physicality, execution throughout the game, adjustments throughout the game, and I felt like we were pretty locked in.
Another situation has unfolded in the conference this week. Mike Budenholzer was fired in Milwaukee after the season last year, just a couple of years removed from winning a title, and then at 30-13. They fired their coach again. Is that a reminder of how ruthless the league can be and how the coaching profession can be difficult to sort of keep your job in?
It's definitely a trigger for perspective. I think just kind of understanding that what we stepped into, the job that we have, is difficult. There's high expectations, there's high standards. But to me, I take a look at it, and regardless of the situation, the coaching profession is hard. It's a tough situation. But in the last 48 hours since that's happened, I've kind of looked at it from a different perspective and been more grateful. I've talked about this before, just the alignment that the Celtics have between ownership, between front office, between coaches, between players. Things aren't always perfect. We obviously haven't achieved the ultimate goal of winning a championship, but we do have ultimate alignment where there's communication and the standard and the expectations are the same. So that's something to really focus on, in my opinion, and I'm grateful to have that.
Joe, I know Beetle brought up the situation with the Bucks, even Miami with Lowry and Rozier. Moves are being made within your conference. Teams that sort of look at you as maybe being hunted. I think Gary Washburn asked you this question the other night, and I liked your answer, that you haven't won anything yet, and you don't understand why you're the hunted. But there's got to be an awareness, though, that seems like teams are adjusting to get ready for you guys.
Yeah, I think they're adjusting just to try to get better, right? I think what I said yesterday is true. We can't have this entitlement that we've got it all figured out and people are looking at going after us. We're not necessarily chasing after anybody. We're chasing after playing our best basketball for long, long stretches at a time. And we just have to play with that healthy balance. Like, we know we're a really good team, but we also know that we could lose at any time, and we know that the matchups are going to be extremely difficult each and every night. So I think it's more just kind of maintaining that balance.
All right, Joe, I'm going to ask you this question. I'm not trying to get you fined, so I'm gonna tread lightly here.
That's usually that's never a good thing how that starts.
How about that? To start to a question, but I was intrigued. I guess the other day I saw the last 2-minute report between, I think it was the Timberwolves and the Hornets. There were 10 missed calls in the last 2-minute report, and then pair that with Chauncey Billups was trying to call a timeout in the Blazers game, was not granted a timeout. He tried to step on the court. He was thrown out instead, and the official Bill Kennedy told the pool reporter, hey, we didn't hear him. And so I know it can be very frustrating when you see these things and you know you're right in the moment, but you can't do anything about it. How do you approach officials during games? Is this hey, kill them with kindness, use first names, joke around with them? How do you approach them? Because I know that could go the other way pretty quickly.
I think every ref, every relationship, is different. So I think it's just kind of, at the end of the day, whether it could be really frustrating or not, I'm just understanding who they are, kind of what they're about, and just building that relationship with them. And so I think you kind of just go into each relationship with them a little bit differently.
I mean, some guys, you just can't. Hey, I can't push this guy because he's gonna tee me up if I even say hello too strongly.
Yeah. I mean, you just gotta know your audience. There are guys that I'll have a little bit more leeway. There are guys you could bust balls with. There are guys that don't take any crap. And so I think it's just kind of being aware of your environment and just kind of adjusting accordingly.
I was gonna say, you must have a favorite. You must have a guy that when you see him, like, oh, I like having him on our game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we were like that.
Yeah. It's not necessarily a fit. I like different guys for different reasons, but I definitely like the group of guys that let you, kind of bust them up a little bit. You chop it up with them. I tell you what, I think it was last week, I had 2 really good interactions with the referees, which is something you don't hear about all the time. I think it was there was a home game, maybe San Antonio or the one before that, but they missed a call and then follow it up with with an and one. I think they called it on Luke Cornett, and he comes down the other end, and I kind of give him a little crap for it. And you know what he said? He's like, hey, you know what? You're right. I messed up, and not only did I mess up, but that was a bull crap and one that I called too. And I was just like, I just started laughing. I was like, man, I just sat back down. I was like, nothing I could say to it. And there was another game at Toronto where one of the guys, there was some. The game wasn't going in our favor, so to speak, and this is a funny one. He actually thanked me for my professionalism, and I said, "Hey, I've never been thanked for that before." And so you don't hear about those. Obviously, you hear a ton about just referees in general, but you don't hear about some of the positive interactions that you have. So I think it's important to highlight a couple of those ones.
Without naming names, and when you first started this gig, do you have to look twice? Give a guy a look twice because, man, this guy's breaking my balls. One of the vested referees, maybe not giving you the time of day. Did it feel like that at all with some guys?
I mean, I did get ejected in my 4th game as an interim head coach.
Oh, you got a hot whip, Joe. We all know that.
I like to think I didn't. I like to think I could have worked a little bit harder for that one.
You thought you could have gone at least 5 or 6 games before that happened.
I at least wanted to make it to half court. I don't even know if I made it to half court yet. If I'm going to get thrown out, I want to work for it a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bump. Give him a little bump.
Yeah. So, Joe, what are you expecting to see from Miami, these new look Miami Heat?
I have no idea. It's obviously they have a DNA. Whether it's their switching, whether it's their aggressive defense, whether it's their zone, obviously offensively they have a couple of different combinations, whether it's hero pick and rolls, whether it's Butler isolations, Adebayo, their off-ball stuff to get Robinson going. They have a couple of different DNAs that they could play on both sides of the ball. So more just kind of looking forward to our guys. I think, on this trip we've done a good job of winning when we haven't played well, kind of a little bit of the Houston game, and then a pretty complete game there against Dallas. So just trying to maintain that level of open-mindedness, play really good, but understand there's areas we can get better at.
You're looking forward to a 7-game home stretch after this game tonight?
Yeah, I just saw that today. I think that'll be pretty interesting. 2 weeks at home.
Yeah. Don't have to go out on the road
Yeah.
for a bit. How's Miami been otherwise? Nice? Good weather? Enjoying yourself?
It's all right. Got my wife here, so we hung out a little bit.
Nice.
You know.
What restaurant you
I
hit?
really went. Chateau ZZ's is a little like Mexican place.
Oh.
Really good. Really good. You got to try it out. Come out here.
Well, these are your recommendations, or your wife says, "Oh, this is where we're going."
No, both. You know, we stepped outside the Italian realm a little bit. Usually we only do that one, so we kind of branched off a little bit.
All right. You got to do that down in Miami, Joe.
Yeah, you got to get a little bit of
They
the
got the
flavor
second-
down there, you know?
Yeah, they got the second best coffee shop in the league too. I forget the name of it though, but
So, Joe, where they put you up down there?
Wait.
Is it the Ritz?
Second best. So the
Yeah.
best is
place in Beverly Hills in L.A.
Beverly Hills. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
They charge you like $50
$37
just to walk
for the
through the
cup of
door.
coffee, yeah.
Right?
Would you like some foam in that? Hey, where they put you up down there? You guys still at the Ritz's all the time, or you like at the one hotel? Or
I gotta tell you where.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
I know, don't say it, but
I
if you get a chance, go to the one hotel, check out the pool deck.
don't think
Yeah,
I
you've
have
got
time for
like-
that.
Your wife will like it, Joe.
Are you at the arena yet? I mean, I know you like to get there super early. I don't know if that applies on the
Well,
road.
she could go over.
The road routine's a little bit different.
All right. All right. Well, Joe, good to talk to you.
Appreciate it,
Yeah,
Joe.
what about you guys?
What about
What
us?
you guys got going on? What you got going on?
Just trying to figure out things here. Like, I don't even have a damn offensive coordinator to talk about.
That's right. Football.
No
Patriots.
quarterback, no offensive coordinator. Coach Belichick doesn't have a job yet. You surprised he doesn't have a job yet, Joe?
Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty surprised at that. Are you?
I am and I'm not, because we talked about this with you last week. Like, as far as the young head coaches now that we have here in town, besides like Montgomery, like you and Gerard, two of the youngest. And if you're a new organization trying to jumpstart, your team, are you going to bring in a guy that's going to be 73 in a year? I don't. That's the way they look at it too.
It's
Plus
a youth movement.
full control too, Joe. He's got.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Joe. We're also trying to figure out what the next song will be that we play for you next week.
Yeah, text me up.
I will.
All right.
We're going to have to go like a little DMX probably.
DMX. We can do
Oh
that.
wow,
Yes.
that's a good one.
All right.
You're in a DMX mood there in Miami.
Dark.
Laid
The
back.
hell is hot.
Lay back right now.
Just walking around barking, getting ready for the game.
All right.
See you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Have fun.
Later.
Yeah. Joe Mazzulla, Celtics head coach.